Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy Podcast, episode number 97 for the week of February 25th, 2013. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who here is with me?
Brock Sager.
Omar.
Back from the dead, it's Toby.
I don't know, Toby. You look like you're still mostly dead, so...
Fine, I am.
Yeah, you look like shit.
I watched The Walking Dead last night, so I decided to stay in character, be one of those zombies, and show up and eat your brains.
Perfect.
Who else is here?
And Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. Yeah, Toby. If you pass out halfway through this podcast, or if I start to get the flu, I'm just going to... Because I just got over it, I'm going to throw you out the front door. Okay. Burn you just to make sure. It's like Game of Thrones. Just burn the body just to make sure you don't get back up. Because you look pretty terrible.
I'll bite you first.
I've never seen you sick like this. I've seen you like...
I'll bite you.
Maybe hungover. I've seen you like tired. But like you look...
I usually don't get sick.
Yeah.
For a good night's sleep, I usually am good. So I think I'm fine by tomorrow.
Okay. Don't infect the rest of us with your
It's too
plague.
bad for you guys.
Yeah.
I work at a high school. I get exposed to this crap all the time.
Yeah, but you've built up an immunity to
I know.
it, obviously.
That's why.
I'm just too busy going, I better not be fucking sick for Emerald City.
Yeah, you're going up next week, huh? Or this weekend, right?
Yep.
When are you going up? Friday?
Friday, yeah.
Cool.
You know you're going to get sick after. You'll get that con flu.
After, I'm okay with. During, again, can bite me.
Now, I have a question. At different
Charlie
cons,
was really messed up last year, though.
At different cons, do you get like different sicknesses? Like Emerald City, do you get like a green sickness? You know, San Diego, do you get like this yellow sickness?
If you're in Portland and you go to Emerald City, or if you're in Seattle, I'm sorry, and you go to Emerald City Comic-Con, look
For a tall man.
just look for the person whose head is the one head above everyone else, and just yell Charlie, and more than likely he'll turn his head and be like, "Hello."
But what if he's standing next to the mountain?
I think go say hello to him.
You know, actually, Comic-Con should be like the orange sickness.
The orange sickness?
The orange
it's
lantern.
all about greed over there.
Avarice.
Comic-Con.
And sex.
Is it willpower?
What color is sex?
No, that's what? Isn't that the...
It's a mix between...
The violet?
yeah.
It's a mix between, like, purple and yellow.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the violet lanterns.
Beer?
Oh, shit! She's on top of me!
Did I pull out? Did I wrap it? I was so drunk.
I'm gonna have children somewhere, will I?
We got a few questions here. A ton of stuff to talk about this week, including big spoilers at the end of the episode. So be on the lookout for that, so you can skip if you don't hear. Although if you're on the internet, you've already heard. But we'll get to that in a while. First question this week. Stefano asks, "What era of comics did you have loved to lived in and or matured during, and why?" And man, I don't think there's a better time that I could tell you than right now.
Yeah.
I would love to have been around during like the 30s and the 60s, but
That's just because your anal retentiveness would have actually had comics that are now worth millions of dollars.
well, sure. It would have been cool to be around when those books were first coming out, but you wouldn't know what it was, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we are at the point now where we have so much history with these characters. The effects in Hollywood can match what's on the page. The books are the best. You know, some of these books are the best written they've ever been. You know, there's so many books out there. There's so many different formats out there. There's toys and action
The
figures.
technology
right,
into the actual color and what we see and how the whole production cycle, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's never been a better time for comic books. Now, I know readership and sales maybe. Well, sales have been pretty decent, but you know, comics are as prolific as they've ever been, except for maybe in the 30s, and that's it's incredible.
Well, but not to disagree with you, there's definitely certain times, like, it would have been nice to be as into comics like when Gwen Stacy died and like some of those sort of key events that just didn't have the impact, because when I was reading Spider-Man, that had already happened. It was already kind of like just part of the mythology. And of course I had to hunt down some stuff so I could read it, but like there was no real surprise anymore because of how big an impact that had.
I think that's one thing, like you brought up, Charlie, like the death of Gwen Stacy. It's like, I'd like to have, now is a great time for comics, but I would have liked to have been, really into comics when you didn't have those easy access to spoilers. Those, you found out when you picked up the comic, or you found out, like, holy crap, like that doesn't necessarily happen very much anymore.
Yeah.
So,
and these conversations about comics never happen except for now, because like back in the 60s, 70s, you go up to the 70s, you go up to your friend at the water cooler at the office and say, "Oh shit, did you see how Gwen when Stacy got fucking thrown off the ship by fucking Green Goblin, fucking Spider-Man tried to save her and her neck fucking snapped.
Well,
what job can you work at where you swear that fucking much at the water?
The university.
But here's
the university.
Here's the thing: if anyone at that time went up and said, "I read comics," people would look at you and be like, "I read comic books? What are you, a kid?" Like,
yeah,
even
Or
though
they would
there's
have
still
asked for an eighth.
even though there's still a bit of that, like, acceptance and the art form and the just movies and TV and video games and the online culture, for good or for evil, the message boards, forums, cons, creator interaction on Twitter. I mean, never has it been better. Never.
Yeah, I'm just
Agreed.
saying that there's a certain amount of, I would say, pushing the envelope where you kind of have this suspense of disbelief that they actually just killed. Like, nowadays we're all jaded in the way that if somebody dies, we're like, oh, they'll be back.
Interesting you bring that up.
Yeah. It's
Sure.
sort of the way it is nowadays. If a character's popular, they're going to come back. But there was still the sort of sense back then that, like, when a character died, when Jason Todd died, when Bucky dies, when Stacy died, like, those were like these big things where there wasn't at all this sense of, well, this event can be taken back at the drop of a hat.
But it's fiction. It always could be. They just
But I
really
don't think there was
didn't.
that jaded mentality of it being that.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand.
Sorry, Toby's showing me all these hot pictures of hot chicks that he was filming with.
Well, I was partying with, actually.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. It's
So they didn't know they were being filmed.
well, they knew they were getting their pictures taken. Yeah, I mean,
Life of a gaffer.
dude.
What's
I
that
mean-
blinking red light mean?
Jason asks,
Way to go.
Good question, Stefano.
All right.
do you think DC should stop trying to put all 52 books and just focus on the quality titles instead of trying to have quantity?
I always want that, but that shit never happens. I want Marvel to do that.
It can't happen.
I
No.
know.
It's all about market share.
Right.
To me, it's even just a matter of I like the quote unquote Magic 52 number. I like the fact that it gives them okay, we're canceling this books and we're going to give something new a try. If they just focused on the books that were selling well and all of that, then I hate to say it, you end up with Marvel where you end up double shipping and triple shipping to make up those numbers, where I like variety. I like seeing new stuff come out.
We wouldn't have GI Combat and we wouldn't have Ravagers, but then we wouldn't have I, Vampire, and wouldn't have Animal Man. Yeah. So, I mean, I can live without those first two, despite actually kind of liking Ravagers. But Animal Man and I, Vampire, to me, are two of the best series that came out of it, and those wouldn't have launched had they just stuck with Batman and Superman. And actually, someone, Emilio here, asks the exact kind of the flip to that is, do you think there are too many Batman books, movies, video games, etc.? Do you think people are getting tired of him? He ends that with, I'm not. So, and I think most people would say, no, hell no. If it's cool, let's do it,
Bring it.
Yeah, you can't have too much of a good thing, and the bad stuff gets weeded out, regardless of if it's a kind of a crappy Batman book or a crappy, fourth-tier DC title.
Now, the flip side to that, though, is with the quote-unquote Magic 52 number, if they keep adding Bat books, then you lose out for other characters and stuff.
Well, this actually...
Like Vibe, right?
Yeah, like Vibe. That was a great comic.
Well, and I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but if not, I'll say it again here. In my mind, DC doesn't have 52 ongoing books. They have, like, maybe 40 that are ongoing. And they have this rotating list of about 12 titles that are 6, 8, 12, 24, 18-issue miniseries that they're like, well, if it gets canceled after 8, done, right? Oh, but sometimes they last. And, cool, I Vampire stuck around longer than we thought. We'll go 18 issues. Okay, now, or like 20 by the time with the zeros and all that. Okay, now we're done. And that never would have happened. Had they launched Vibe or Katana as a miniseries, and this is when we were talking about last week, right? No one would have ordered them. But I think Vibe has a chance. The reviews were kind of mixed on number 1, but I think it'll stick around longer than it would be if it was a miniseries. And I'm happy to see them trying new stuff. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, they just cancel it and they replace it with another book. But we're always going to have 10 Batman books and 5 Superman books, and a handful of JLA and Teen Titans, and that one Wonder Woman, that one Flash. Obviously now 4 or 5 Green Lantern titles, and then you have this rotating list of all these other books to just you just try something, boom, you get an Animal Man and Swamp Thing that sticks and sells and is fantastic, and then you just try more and try more. And it sucks to see the books go because you'd love to see 12, 24, 36 issues on all these, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, it's good because they give themselves that buffer space. They're like, this is the number we want to hit. This is the number we're going to play with. This is our kind of solid number, our base. So they have that that freedom to go and say, hey, we're going to do a vibe series. We're going to do this series, and they don't call them miniseries. They just say we're going to do this series.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, well, that's great because maybe we will see some of those characters that we haven't seen in the New 52 yet. Like maybe Chase will come back in her own kind of thing. Maybe the Outsiders will come back. Maybe we'll see Booster Gold again. It's like, there's this possibility there. So
yeah, but the point I was basically making is each round of cancellations, they seem to bring in a new Superman title or a new Batman title along with these other new titles. Every single wave of cancellations, we start hearing about Man of Steel, or they bring back Batman Incorporated, or and I don't necessarily have a problem with adding another Batman book if it's quality, like Batman Incorporated has been. But it's still that kind of thing of now Batman's taking up another one of the quote-unquote empty spots. Yeah. Now Superman's taking up another one of the quote-unquote empty spots.
I mean, that's kind of like the problem we had with the DC animated movies, because they promised they're going to do all these, B and C tier movies, not movies, but, character-wise. And then sales weren't there, and they replaced it by, we're just going to do Batman and Superman movies, kind of what we don't want to happen to the entire DC line, basically. Right?
But I don't think it is. I mean, they're definitely launching a lot of Batman and Superman titles, but they always have.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
I'm just saying, with a firm 52 number, each one of those takes a potential spot for some other.
Can we just cancel Ravagers and replace it by Gen 13?
That's
like a real one.
I'm sure that's what's going to happen. Well, the ones that have gone away and the new books that are coming up, it feels like you have to have a big book that launches all these books. And like I said, I don't think it's firm, because you're going to have some of these books that are, quote unquote, the ongoings, like something like Legion Lost, that does end after 18 issues, right? So you're going to get certain books that phase out as well. I don't think we're going to end up with 35 35 Batman books and 12 Superman books. I mean, maybe, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
That would be rather amusing if it did.
Yeah.
Are we still getting Flashpoint, the animated?
Don't know.
That sucks, because I thought that was the next one, and then it's going to be now. It's going to be the Superman, which I'm not hating on. It's going to be a great story.
Yeah,
but fuck, I really wanted to see the fucking just world get destroyed by fucking the ocean. That'd just be awesome.
I'm definitely hoping we're still getting Flashpoint, but I made the mistake of looking up the sales numbers for these Batman and Superman animated movies, and ever since I looked them up, I went, I really wish those were better.
Yeah. Buy shit, support product.
Yeah.
Just go out there and buy it. It's just going to take up room in your little collection anyways. That's the only way for us to get shit, is to buy it. Yeah. Don't fucking do the torrents. Don't do that stuff. Yeah, I'm watching you.
Oh, I get them every time. I get the little DC figure and a little stand. And you know what, man? If Marvel would get off their ass and stop with these Ultimate Spider-Man and stop with these bad anime wannabe shows, man, those are terrible. I don't know if you guys have tried to watch them.
Hey, the Cheeks one was pretty good.
Which one was that?
The one before it. The Spectacular Spider-Man.
Oh, no, yeah, right. No. I'm talking about the stuff.
Pretty solid.
Earth's Mightiest Hero I really like. But, man, how does Marvel and Disney not have every 6 months an animated... They pump out those Disney animated movies all the time. And the quality's like whatever. Yeah. But still, how do you not have a line of Marvel animated movies? And not this Big Hero 6 shit that's coming out. Like, what are they thinking with that? No. Marvel animated...
Iron Man CGI or something.
No.
I'm not saying that they're putting out good stuff. I'm just saying they're putting out stuff.
I want to see animated Civil War. I want to see animated Secret Invasion. I want to see animated Secret Wars.
I want to see House of M.
Sure. Animate all that stuff. I want all your X-Men Days. Why is there not an X-Men Days of Future Past comic that's going to come out with the new X-Men movie, right? The Days of Future Past live action movie. you have the comic adaptation or whatever word you use it at, as the animated version. So I would buy all those. Those would be fantastic. I'd buy all that stuff. All right, we got one here from
New Warriors cartoon would be cool in Young Justice.
Like I'm saying, we gotta talk about Young Justice.
Why are you stroking him like that, bro?
No, we gotta talk about Young Justice. We'll talk about Young Justice a little bit before the end of the podcast.
Defending Young Justice till the end.
We gotta talk
about it.
We gotta talk about some Young Justice here in a second. I got one here from Heroes and Villains, and actually look on this page. It looks like he has a podcast called Heroes and Villains, where he talks every maybe week. I don't see it here on how many he has. Or they showcase a different hero and or villain every week. So go check this podcast out. But he asks, will Orson Scott Card write more than one issue of the Adventures of Superman digital comic? Did we talk about that a couple weeks ago?
Just a little blurb.
Yeah. No, from what I understand, the digital comics, how they work is they're just like short 8-page stories. So my expectation is I think he already wrote it, right? Because I think it should be coming out soon. They premiere digitally first. And so he just wrote the first story, and it'll be in the first issue of the comic. Yeah. So if you don't want to read his story, you just don't buy the first issue. So I don't think he's doing anything else. So, Jaden asks, out of all your favorite superheroes, who had the alternative costume you love the most? Ooh, good question. I can think of plenty that I hate, but what's a good alternative costume that I love?
Jon Stewart. When he went in between the fucking when he killed Mogo.
Yeah.
He became like the Black Lantern, and then he also had the Indigo shit going on.
Oh yeah.
That was fucking incredible.
It
was like it was a bandana, but it was like military fatigues. And it was like purple and black, and the shit just came together, and he looked like a fucking zombie. He's like fucking killed Mogo, a whole fucking planet. Which, thank you for bringing Mogo back. I love it. That for me, I was begging Jeff Johns and all the sculptors at DC Direct to fucking make a fucking
of that,
because as much as I love Mattel and as much as I love the Four Horsemen and Mattel and how they do shit with the DC universe and whatever toys, whatever you call them, Infinite Earths, DC Direct does it right because they make the everything look like the actual body and they have the right shit. So please, DC Direct, make that Sniper, Black Lantern, Jon Stewart. Thank you.
I know Toby's answer. I think you turned your mic off.
Oh, what is it?
Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, I like that one.
Do you like the hoodie?
Oh, I love the hoodie.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
I absolutely love the hoodie. But I was gonna say Harley from Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Because I actually personally never cared for Harley. No offense. I know everybody loves her and everything. No, don't kill me. But, she was cool, but when Arkham was at Asylum or Arkham City came out and she was walking around in those leather things, holy shit. Yeah,
I kind of have to agree with Toby. Like, the transition from the New 52 from the old costume to the new costume. I like the old costume, but the new costume where she, in the Suicide Squad is awesome. And the best thing is the New 52 statue, which I didn't know when it was solicited, but apparently she's actually stepping on the old costume on the stand.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I'd have to agree with Harley.
So for me, I can think of two examples. One, when Aquaman went all hook hand and
oh yeah,
that was awesome.
Yes, I love that.
With
not
the hair,
half naked Thor with the long hair and chest
total justice. I remember those toys.
Yeah. I really liked that design for Aquaman back then, and I still remember when Hal first emerged after Emerald Twilight as Parallax, and yeah, I like that too.
Man, I'm not coming up with many here. I mean, I really like Nova's more recent look, the Rich Rider Nova, like during Annihilation when he got kind of the spiky shoulders and everything. Like, that's cool. Zur-En-Arr Batman, hell yeah. Repping that purple and red and all sorts of goofy ass colors
with Batmite.
Yeah.
Little
Zur-En-Arr Batman.
Radar.
That'll be one of my picks.
Omar.
Oh, yeah. I bought HeroClix instead.
I love Jubilee in the fake New Warriors book.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
which is fairly basic, but she was awesome in that book.
There are a lot of designs in Age of Apocalypse I like.
Oh, dude, you just opened a whole new can.
Yeah.
Here.
Well,
Jesus.
I had another one.
Wolverine was fucking awesome in that one. Jean Grey is fucking hot in that one. Gambit looked awesome in that.
I like
the whole
Cyclops
design,
in that
I
one.
mean, the whole redesign, the ideas behind that went into all of that, it's just all awesome.
This became, I think, his traditional costume when it started as like a variant, but Superboy, the jeans and t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I mean, that became, until recently, that's just what they kept him in for so long.
Yeah.
His alternate was the Superboy costume.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Can I throw in one more?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it has to be another Green Lantern thing because that's my shit. Wow.
Red Lantern.
Holy shit! I just read this Green Lantern Corps number 17, Wrath of the
good
First
stuff.
Lantern Part 2. Damn, Fernando Passarin and like what he does with like showing Guy Gardner just the visuals. Yeah, Guy Gardner Red Lantern was pretty sick.
How about Warrior?
That was awesome.
You Warrior fan?
Definitely not Warrior. Warrior's Bar, yes, but not Warrior.
Now we're going to talk about designs we don't like.
No, there's a lot more that we like.
There's a lot.
Yeah, now
That's what's great about
Nightwing,
comics. Change.
New Blue Nightwing, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the variant at this point now would be the disco collar because he
fuck
wore
the
that
variant.
for
No,
so
the
long.
blue.
But he got Starfire during that with that
Yeah.
disco collar.
Yeah.
So shit, that helped. He had the best Crandier.
Arsenal versus Speedy costume.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, Young Justice Arsenal is pretty sick too.
We'll get to Young Justice.
Oh,
we'll get to
sorry.
Young
He's a little
Justice.
Damien-ish in that one.
He's very Damien.
We'll get to Damien
He's got the
in a
little
little
short
bit
hair,
too.
little.
Yeah, he does.
All right, we got
He's a little dick in that
Yeah, he's
one,
a
too.
major asshole.
we got like 2.5 questions here. I'm gonna wrap these up, and then we got a bunch of stuff to talk
How
about.
do we answer half a question?
Because I got a question I'm going to ask. We're
talk
not going to
halfway
answer it because I
and
want to
stop?
think. No.
All right.
This one's from Jonathan. He says, "Have you guys thought more about, or what do you guys think about the mini events in DC, like Hell on Earth, Throne of Atlantis, the first
Wrath
of the First Lantern stuff?
Rot World.
Oh,
Yeah.
Throne of Atlantis is incredible.
But just the theory, like these, instead of a big event, these little family events. I've been on record for years saying I love these. I think it's the way to do it. You don't involve useless books. You don't worry about miniseries. You just boom. Couple issues here and there. It doesn't have to be all the time. In fact, I don't like it when it's like 6 months. Sometimes, like the Death of the Family went a little bit long with the crossover.
the Red Rot's going a little long too.
Yeah, Raw World's been going longer than I wanted to, but still, the thought behind this is how you do crossovers.
Yeah, self-contained. Agreed.
A large part of that for me just has to do with the fact that, like, for Green Lantern events, this particular team's been together so long, and they don't have to. When you do these big spanning things where you're kind of juggling all these different creators, it's really hard to keep sort of a cohesive, this is what we're doing. But like Throne of Atlantis is a perfect example. So yeah, Jeff Johns doesn't really need to worry about coordinating with somebody else to do a...
He's doing both, yeah.
He's writing Throne of Atlantis. It just has Justice League or Aquaman on the front.
Yeah, and Death of the Family, again, you get a sense that, like, because they're only coordinating with a finite number of creators, they're able to kind of keep with the core of what the plan is and better communication.
I think like Batman and Green Lantern have done really, really well with these mini crossovers. Superman, though, and the Superman books have not done very well.
Well,
like Hell on Earth to me is...
Hell on Earth may not be a very good story, but it doesn't break... Like, it hasn't fractured from the story because of the... Like, it just has to do with the fact it's a bad story.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Superman titles have suffered from that for a while. I mean, for 2 years we had the little Superman emblem on each book, Superbook, that told you what number in sequence this was, like we had with...
Back in the day, had that for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did it with before the War of the Superman.
Right.
So...
Shout out to James Robinson. What's up?
War of the Superman.
San Francisco represent.
We got one from Ty, who says, I love the Justice League cartoon. Are there any good comics that are as awesome as this show was? The problem with that is the show is based on all sorts of comic books. So you want to find what those were based on. So things like Grant Morrison's JLA run, the Watchtower run in the 70s. I mean, they took a lot of whatever happened to the Man... what's the Alan Moore one? I totally just blanked on the name of the story.
Whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow?
Huh?
Whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow?
Yeah, is that the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow?
Yeah. So, there's...
Sorry, I just farted.
Really?
Awesome.
Really?
Now, did you say it was Kai or was it Ty?
Ty.
Oh, I was hoping it was Kai with the hitchhiker.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, with the axe, slamming people, saving people.
No, for the man who has everything.
Superhero.
Whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow is the other
Hitchhiking
one.
superhero.
Yeah, for the man who has everything, that's the one that's the Mongol arc. So yeah. Sorry.
But I mean, all
had
that
the right
being
creator,
said,
right?
you can definitely go back and check out those comics. But there's also a lot of great news stories coming out.
Yeah.
So
Definitely Justice League International, run by Keith Giffen and Jam DeMatteis.
Classic
Influenced
material.
a lot of Booster Gold and
so
all
good.
the comedy episodes.
During the Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
Bless you.
All of Gail Simone's Birds of Prey run, heavily influenced on Huntress and The Question and what
For
they
sure.
were doing with
Yeah.
those characters. So
Yeah.
there's a lot.
How badass is Black Canary right now? She's killing it.
Yeah,
I love her in Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
We need to kill that fly.
Dude, there's like 3 of them, bro. To be
I don't
honest
know.
with you,
All
there's
I've
one
seen
right
is
next to Ryan.
We've been
there's one over
infected
here.
by fruit fly or something.
Yeah, flu fly virus.
They're
Just
not.
beer and wine.
Okay. Here's a question we're not going to answer because I actually want to put some time to think about this because there's the answers, but there's more than I know, and I want to spend some time on this. Maybe we'll do a whole episode about this thing.
Whoa, who's this coming from?
This is from Brett on Twitter. He says, "What are some great under the radar Vertigo series from the past?" And I mean, I know it's easy answers, all the big ones. But we've done a few episodes that are like kind of specifically based on one subject. I would love to do a Vertigo episode.
Let's do it.
Brett, I'm going to hold off on your question. We're going to do a Vertigo episode, I think, soonish.
Yeah, there's incredible
Because there's
Vertigo
so
books.
much stuff to talk about with the Vertigo, and that's a big question. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that one. Remind me. Don't let me forget. We'll do this in a few weeks.
It means in the next 2 years. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it'll be like episode 154.
Christmas 2014.
Yeah.
The last time we did a special was Suicide Squad.
Well, we did that one. We did a couple of movie ones. We did the
How's Gage doing? I haven't seen him in a while.
He's good. I'm sure you talk to him all the time.
Tell him
He's
I said
good.
hey.
Yeah, we'll do. He's probably listening. So hello,
Perfect.
Gage.
Hi, Gabe.
So a bunch of random news this week, including a very, very big thing. Let's start with this one. IDW is going to be publishing a whole bunch of comics based on the Cartoon Network series of shows, including Johnny Bravo, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Samurai
Yes.
Jack, Ben 10, Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
Samurai. Did I say Samurai Jack? Yeah,
you said
yeah.
Samurai Jack, but you can say it twice.
Yeah, I know you love Samurai Jack. So DC published these years ago.
Yeah.
And kind of, except for Powerpuff Girls, like they didn't really go anywhere, and then they never did anything with them. And
Now, Powerpuff Girl, the first issue, is actually drawn and written by Craig McCracken.
yeah.
And the original page is basically going for money because
Because he
Craig
actually
McCracken
did.
actually drew it.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't do sequential art ever. Has he done anything ever since?
No,
Yeah.
that's why they're so rare. I mean, I've been eyeing a couple pages on eBay. I shouldn't fucking say this on the podcast because stay away from those. I want to get them one day, but
Yeah.
maybe in the next 10 years I can actually afford one.
Yeah, Emerald City Con's probably the best place to get him for a decent price, right? Charlie.
There's not that many left, though. I mean, he only did one issue. Yeah.
You're just like, you're going to have to go hunt this down in Emerald
Charlie,
City, even if it's not there.
I'm giving you through Ben Franklin's, buddy.
Hey,
Go visit my friends.
I'm actually hoping that Greg McCracken with this would come back and maybe do a Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends.
Yeah.
So just because I'm a big fan.
So I'm.
Well, I just, not to badmouth what they were doing when it was DC and stuff, but I never got the impression that they were really giving the property props more than just going, well, these are on TV right now, they're popular, let's just push these
a lot
books
of those
out.
just had like Cartoon Network slapped on the top of them.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I had a Foster's Home trade, and some of the stories in there were actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
And it was one story where I don't think they could have gotten away doing that on TV either. It's like, I want to say one of the little boys, and I forgot which one, actually imagined Frankie, and she was like a kind of cuter, like, Frankie that's running around, where the real Frank is like, what the hell? You can't have that. And it was actually a really funny story. I don't think they could have done that on TV, to be honest.
I think they could have, depending on how it was handled.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is just IDW has been really respectful of a lot of the properties they've put out. They may have a habit of over spin-off, as in they love to launch one book and then they go, well, this is selling, so now we're gonna.
Well, they
do
didn't
a mini
they, like-
and a mini and a mini. And,
Didn't they crossed over like Transformers, Turtles, and G.I. Joe or something
Yeah.
weird like that?
well, yeah, but that was like a couple of issues as part of their big sort of crossover event, and it didn't actually impact the individual books, which is part of the reason I liked it. It's not like they didn't do an event that then impacted the ongoing titles. It was more just, we're going to do this event that crosses these worlds.
So
where
are
it's
they
not-
gonna have an infestation of My Little Ponies?
That'd be so
you know they
That'd be
will.
funny.
weird.
Transformers is ponies.
Well, so My Little Ponies obviously a huge hit
Yeah.
for IDW. Sold crazy
You
amount.
gotta tell the story of your funny customers that came in.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you bought those comics right in the middle behind you. Good for you.
What's that?
Your little fucking My Little Pony variants.
Yeah, but we sell a ton of My Little Ponies. And it sounds like Powerpuff Girls is going to be the first book that comes out from IDW.
I hope it's not the new Powerpuff Girls.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
It's not the Craig
Well,
one.
I'm assuming it's the new one.
But the new one, from what I understand, was just like, it doesn't sound like it's an ongoing. It sounded like it was a special.
Well, right. So it's unclear if this is an anthology, sort of the way DC was doing their like cartoon. Was it cartoon cartoons? No, is that what they
Something
called
like
it?
that. I don't
Where it
remember,
was every issue was a different cartoon, or if it's a series.
Wasn't
of,
it a different two cartoons? Like
or
that
yeah,
was-
it was like two stories. Or if it's a straight up, here's a Powerpuff Girl, here's a Johnny Bravo, here's a Dexter's Lab. But when you look at Boom, I mean, they've been killing it with Adventure Time, and now they have
I was actually gonna
regular show.
Yeah,
which
I
is
was going to
coming
bring
out.
this up. I was actually kind of hoping Boom would pick up the Cartoon Network stuff.
Yeah.
Because it would like kind of fit right in their lineup, to be honest.
Yeah. So we'll see what they do with that, because that's
They've been
big
killing
stuff.
it with Adventure Time from what I get.
Yeah, that's been a huge hit for them. So we sold a lot of the trades, and less on the single issues. I mean, at first we sold a bunch, but it's kind of cooled down on the single issues. But the trades we sold a ton of those.
That's great.
Yeah.
For
See,
them.
my only complaint with this kind of stuff is like they're putting out a Adventure Time hardcover
Yeah,
for $35, which is 4 issues.
yeah.
And they're having a convention exclusive for it at Emerald City that's $50
Oof.
Ooh,
for
4
4 issues.
But then they're putting out an original graphic novel for like $9 or $10.
I don't.
That's like
Some accounting guy over there should get fired.
Scott
that
Pilgrim
shit doesn't
size.
make any sense.
Yeah.
people will buy it. Well, but that's like the Turtles hardcovers that were horrible.
But they never announced one past the first one, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of assuming they realized people weren't gonna.
Yeah, they're super expensive.
Yeah, I just can't get behind anything that gets anywhere close to $10 an issue.
Yeah, that's crazy.
ridiculous.
We got a new Superman Batman ongoing book, or as we kind of mentioned earlier, by Greg Pak, most famous for
World War Stories.
What's that?
Robot Stories.
I don't know what Robot Stories is.
World
The
War
film
Hulk.
he did.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
gonna say
Planet
the,
Hulk.
My bad. Planet Hulk.
the upcoming
The good one. The good one.
the
I
upcoming
like World War Hulk.
It's cool.
the upcoming Marvel movie Planet Hulk in 2015.
Thanks, Greg Pak.
Rumor.
And not Pat Lee, Jesus Christ, Jay Lee, Pat Lee. Oh my God, that'd be
no,
awful.
No, we should do a whole episode on Pat.
I'm Pat Lee.
Yeah, that'd be a really interesting.
Is that the
episode.
Transformers guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sick.
Oh my God.
No,
he's an
do,
asshole.
Do you know the
Why-
story behind this guy?
No, I don't.
No, dude.
I just go look up Pat Lee and go read about
Let's just
this
say
guy.
the stuff you think it's Pat Lee.
He
It may not be Pat Lee.
more than likely wasn't Pat Lee.
Oh, he had ghost artists?
Oh,
wow.
quite
He
a bit.
did very little. Yeah,
Good for him.
Yeah. So
business wise,
Yeah, right?
So there was a rumor a while back about Brad Meltzer and Brian Hitch doing a Superman Batman book, which would be friggin' amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Greg Pak and Jay Lee is okay too.
It's cool.
I mean, I like Greg Pak; he's okay.
Yeah.
Jay Lee, I love. He's amazing. I don't see him doing more than 4 issues.
Yeah,
but
interior
okay.
work. I mean, he's incredible if he's committed, but he's just like John Cassidy. I mean,
Yeah.
Cassidy. He's not going to be.
Well, yeah, Cassidy wouldn't have done, or Hitch wouldn't have done more than 4 issues either, right?
Sure,
I mean, none of
sure.
these guys do anymore.
Well, I mean, for me, the only way I'm sort of thinking about it is based on when this announcement's coming out versus what he was doing last time. I'm kind of hoping they already have a number of issues in the can and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
I really liked Superman Batman, and
Yeah, it
like
was fun
I
book.
was really surprised that it made sense that they didn't bring it back to New 52 because it was all about like introducing them in the new universe. And New 52 was like kind of like out of continuity, but in a continuity in some ways. They did shit. They went in and out. They did Invasion.
Yeah.
They brought all these other stories together, and they had incredible creative teams.
Yeah.
And at one point, they had like a very regular creative team.
Yeah. No, they had a few, but I can't remember who did it. Someone did it.
Superman was high in one of those issues. That was awesome.
Which one was that?
Like issue 40-something.
Brock's favorite thing.
Gets exposed to gray kryptonite or something.
Hey,
And then he's like...
Green kryptonite.
No, it wasn't green.
No, the other type of green, right?
Oh, no. He's
some
super speeding all around going, the cereal's me. I'm eating it.
this Cryptokush, Cryptokush,
some white kryptonite.
Kush Kryptonite.
So, yeah, that's cool. I'm excited for that. Another, here's another Superman and another Batman book, Charlie.
Yep.
So, sorry.
Two birds with one stone.
Okay.
As long as they're good books, I obviously will read them and support them. It just weirds me out a little bit that they never are in the cancellation list. They're just always in the new ongoing series list.
Yeah.
Okay, two big things that we're going to spend probably the rest of the episode talking about here. One of them I'm going to announce, I think, like right after we recorded the podcast last week, which was DC announced the new ongoing creative teams for all the Green Lantern books. We're going to start this with a reading of the names, and everyone should reply with non-language. Just be like or ooh or because it's a long. It's a long.
We're not going to
list.
do that.
No, just name to name. Okay.
Okay. Sure,
Ready?
whatever. What do you
So Green Lantern, which is by Robert Venditti, writer of X-Men: Man of War and Demon Knights.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all for it.
He's good. What's funny about that is X-Men: Man of War is about a guy from the past, like a guy from the past with this crazy suit of like flying alien tech. Mm-hmm. Demon Knights is about people in the past, and Green Lantern's about a guy with a suit, like flying alien crazy tech. So it's like they took X-Men of War and split it in half and gave this guy Demon Knights and Green Lantern. So.
I think you're reaching, bro.
No, it's totally.
I think you're reaching.
No,
That's
what are you
okay.
talking about?
Thank you. Thanks for agreeing with me.
Knights stuff
Charlie
in the
doesn't
past.
often agree with me, but he does today.
I like how
Thank
you're
you.
defensive, right? He's
Demon Knights.
He's like, no, look at his face right now, man.
Demon
His eyes
Knights
are wide open.
is about guys from the past.
And he's smiling.
Green Lantern's about guys flying around in a suit of space
shinies?
armor, right? I mean, that right?
Green Lanterns
So-
aren't really wearing space armor.
Sure it is.
They're
The
naked,
ring
bro.
makes
It's just their
It's just
construct
energy.
thoughts. Yes,
Especially when Ryan Reynolds is wearing the suit.
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. Now, art is by Billy Tan.
Yeah.
Boo.
What? I'm kind of like,
Billy Tan?
yeah.
Not Philip Tan.
I know. Philip Tim is my homeboy.
Yeah, we saw him at Comic Con that one time next to the pool, right?
Yeah. He's the one that stopped us from trying to climb the wall.
There was no women there.
Hey, Toby, what the fuck you trying to do there?
Billy Tan.
No, I'm sorry. Billy Tan, from what we've seen with his work, his recent work,
Yeah.
like
Has he done recently?
Couple covers.
Some X-Men stuff.
some. Oh yeah, he hasn't done D shit in a while.
No. He's okay.
Oh.
Like,
I really don't. I honestly, Bernard Chang should be the one doing Green Lantern stuff. I was pissed about that. Like, why would he not be? Why is he? I'm not hating because I love GLC because of what Gleason and Tomasi did with that book and now Passerin. But yeah, Bernard Chang is definitely a superior artist in my opinion.
yeah. So we'll see. I don't know the Billy Tan. Does he ever do work for more than 3 issues? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, fill in maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So I don't know if he's.
It is 4-issue miniseries.
Yeah, like I don't ever think of him as like an ongoing artist that's done long runs. So I don't know, but whatever. We'll see. And I'm kind of on. Joshua Falkov for Green Lantern Corps writer, which
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very excited for that.
He's dope.
He did iVampire. He's great.
This is how it's going to go. Like, Ryder go, yeah. And then artist go,
No, because the artist is Bernard Chang on Green Lantern Corps, which Bernard Chang's awesome.
Okay.
So I'm excited for that. Everyone, Bernard Chang? Yes?
No, for sure,
I know.
for sure.
Both. Give a
I'm-
thumbs up.
Unless you tell me what comics they've done, I can't. Like, there's certain artists that I can go, yes, I know that artist.
Yeah.
But I would say where I know about 50% of the writers by name that have reached a certain status. Artist-wise, my percentage is probably more like 15%.
Yeah.
So
Well, Red Lanterns is also by Joshua Falkov, which is great, with art by Alessandro Vitti, who I don't know. So I'm not sure what he's done,
Don't
but
know what that
hopefully he's cool. And Green Lantern New Guardians by Justin Jordan, current writer on Deathstroke, and upcoming writer on Suicide Squad, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's the one that's taken over, which I'm cool with. And then Brad Walker, who did some fill-in stuff in Action Comics, and he's okay too. So
I don't know. All I gotta say is New Guardians got so much better since that Cooter guy has filled in, who is fucking amazing. Amazeballs. That Cooter guy, he was like the last few issues.
I've been happy with New Guardians in general.
Yeah. Wow.
Even though I do agree that the last couple of issues have been like, it kind of went from those kind of like, I could push it a little bit because I personally liked it too. Like, holy crap, when people see what they're doing in this book, they're going to be hunting down all these issues. And
I think these creative teams, I mean, clearly have such big shoes to fill.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think it's the right move to replace everyone, to just go and do something totally different. I did read an interview with Joshua Falkov and Robert Venditti.
It's probably the same one I read today.
On Convict Resources.
Yeah.
They didn't fill me with a ton of hope.
Good luck with that.
Only because Venditti was like, oh, yeah, I read my first comic in like 2004. Like, I'd never read a Green Lantern comic before. But I hadn't read an X-Men War comic either, and he's doing a damn good job on that book. So maybe that's good.
Yeah, maybe he's just being a fucking
he
cool
said that he hadn't,
cool hand Luke guy.
He hadn't read it before, but he did indicate he started doing all his research.
Sure.
And made sure he read.
And that's probably a better idea than someone that's like, oh, I love Jeff Johns. Like, you don't want me writing Green Lantern because I'd just be like splooging all over whatever Jeff Johns has already done. Like,
it'd be Johns doing Hal.
Yeah, so like, I don't, maybe that's the good idea is if you're really going to go in a different direction, is go in a different direction. Falkov made some cool comments about trying to do more like crime stuff in Green Lantern Corps, which makes sense. Like, that's cool. Yeah. That's a cool idea, and I love the space stuff. But if you want to do space crime, like that works.
I liked also the stuff he kind of talked about with the Red Lanterns and making some comparisons to iVampire and the way that sort of motivations can get turned on their head a little bit. That somebody who is technically a villain can still be kind of acting in the name of justice and all that. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, I forgot they also said Keith Giffen and Scott Collins are going to be doing an ongoing Larfleeze book, which awesome.
See, I'll be the first one to admit, as soon as you mention ongoing Larfleeze, I just check out because I'm excited for the book regardless of who's doing it.
Yeah. Well, Keith Giffen, he could do comedy.
For sure.
So,
agreed.
Scott Collins...
It depends on who the colorist and finisher is.
His recent stuff has been...
Some shit could be really good. He's like, to me, he's like Adriana Mello.
This is replacing Threshold, right?
We don't know.
It's all about like who does the finishing work for him.
Because
I just figured they...
Oh, that's exactly.
Because his stuff on Flash was so good, and then he went to Marvel, and it was like... Blah.
It's because the finisher and the colorist.
Yeah.
Because he's a sketch artist.
Because Marvel doesn't really pay a lot of money.
No, they don't have... Marvel doesn't have inkers, apparently, anymore. Like, they've stopped inking everyone that works for them, which...
They also stopped paying the artists in general, so they don't want to care to draw anymore over there.
Yeah.
No, but I think Amanda Conner would do comedy really good.
Fuck
You gotta get her back on a
She's
comedy
awesome.
book.
Yeah. Well.
Because her facial expression, all the stuff they do.
Hopefully Larfleeze doesn't have all the flies flying around his face like Joker does in the comics, like how he did in the animation. Sorry for making those little connections.
Well,
I'm just too busy going, you're just really tweaked out by all the flies in here, aren't you?
Dude, I really am. Fuck, I haven't killed one yet.
I don't like that there are flies. Like, I gotta get some little fly paper in here. I don't know
why
what happened.
I never see them except for when we do podcast night?
You guys are all smelly. I don't know, man.
Fuck.
What?
I took a shower before I came tonight.
I don't know what's going on. Like someone.
That didn't work, huh?
Yeah. No, I know. I didn't wipe my crotch enough.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean,
Charlie almost threw up in his mouth.
Yeah, I know. He was about to throw all over the mic.
I don't know what to say about the Green Lantern creative teams. They sound mostly good. Hopefully, they're good. I love Green Lantern, so let's hope these are good. That's all I got. I got nothing else. Before we get to the big spoiler stuff, I figure there were two things I think we wanted to talk about this episode. One mentioned earlier being Young Justice, which I got some stuff to talk about Young Justice. And second, I know Charlie and me wanted to talk about Nova #1 for a little bit.
But I also want to talk about Green Lantern.
Well, just the new episode?
Yeah, just because it had fucking Larfleeze.
Dude, that was incredible. And I hope that I'm glad that you brought it up. Thank you.
Okay, well, first, let's do this. Let's do this in order. Let's talk about Nova real quick. Let's talk about Nova real quick.
Everybody's shutting down their mics.
Then we'll do.
let Ryan rant
Let's
his
talk
piece.
about Nova for a minute. Then we'll do
Nova. Who's Nova?
some cartoon conspiracy, and then we're going to go out on some spoiler stuff. So here we go. All right. Nova number 1. Jeff Loeb, M. McGinnis came out this week. Loyal listener to this podcast, and I'm a huge New Warriors fan. I'm a huge Nova fan. I think Charlie, you read it, right?
Yeah.
Brock, did you?
Yes.
Did you actually read the whole thing?
I actually got through.
You read a
Okay.
Marvel comic book without any bias?
Oh wait, did you not?
But
you
did
didn't tweet about
I'm
it.
done?
Huh?
You didn't tweet
He
about
Facebooked
it,
about
hating
it.
saying you're not going to give it.
I've been busy I've been getting busier and busier.
He
so.
preemptively Facebooked, "I'm done."
I did. Preemptively. Yeah, I'm done. I mean, I read one and done.
Did you say I'm done? And I'm guessing after the 3rd issue, everyone else will. Hashtag Marvel sucks.
No, I just did. I am preemptive strike. I'm done. That's the tweet.
Omar, did you look at Green Lantern or Nova at all?
Green Lantern, yes. No or no.
You're in no. Okay. So I expected after reading this issue that I was going to fly to New York, bomb Marvel headquarters, find Jeff Loeb, and strangle him to death. Okay, and I didn't. So that's high praise
Gas
to
prices
me. Okay,
are really high, so
it doesn't matter.
Expensive.
Doesn't
We're going to
matter
open
how
up a
expensive it was.
Kickstarter for Ryan to get gas money so he could go over to New York. And
Now I think I may have actually liked the book more than Charlie.
Wow.
cancel that Kickstarter idea.
Cancel that.
Which, when talking to him briefly yesterday about this, I was surprised that I had at least a positive thing to say about it. But so let me talk for a minute, and then I'll let Charlie talk here. I am always ready to hate this book so much from the start, and I still hate most of it.
It's about
right?
Sam Loeb, right?
Yeah, geez, yeah. So Sam Alexander, new Nova kid, he's been flying around in AVX. He's in that stupid Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. They finally introduced his book. It's like, 6 months ago. It's kind of his origin, right? But here's the thing. So his dad was in the Nova Corps, like back in the day, right? Before Rich Rider, but when there was still a whole bunch of Novas running around. And
he was a member of Guardians of the Galaxy.
he was
and,
hanging out with the
Yeah.
Guardians. Okay, whatever. That's fine. But
Well, there is a gap of time between '90s Guardians and current Guardians.
sure,
so.
but Nova was already around at that point. But here's the thing: that flashback stuff was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I liked. Then the dad was just whatever. He's just a guy. He was running around with a very Green Lantern Corps style of other Nova Corps guys. They were fighting some aliens and doing their thing. It was actually kind of neat. And if that was the book, I'd buy it.
Oh yeah, I love that stuff. Like I was reading it, going, why do I have to read about this stupid kid? I want the story to be about the dad.
Yeah. So then we go to current day. He's not Nova anymore. He's now some drunken janitor.
who isn't working, just letting his kid
something. Sam Alexander is the most perfect kid of all time, and his dad's a deadbeat. That sounds familiar.
That happens so much in real life, man.
And so the kid's got to take care of him, and he doesn't believe his dad's stories, and dad's like, "You're the best kid ever, Sam Alexander.
Hey.
I love you."
Hey, don't forget the cute chick that talks to him.
And of course, there's an ugly, cute chick that is shocked that he likes her, and the principal is the principal from Back to the Future for some reason.
What the hell was
like?
up
I
with
have
that?
no
I was
idea.
like,
and the book
seriously?
is
Strickland.
And then randomly, Groot and Gamora show up at the end. They're like, "We're going to talk to you about your dad." And they show the dad's Nova helmet sitting in the shed that for some reason the kid never saw or something. It's like, oh, this is so bad. But there's that glimmer. There's that little bit in there that's like, this is cool. And if Bryce was here, he would know that I love irreverent teenage heroes, right? As he loves to point out. And Nova's an irreverent teenage hero. This kid's stupid. This kid is dumb. The story's dumb. It is cliche. It is sappy. It is like just eye-rollingly bad. The art's amazing. Ed McGuinness is a great artist. The flashback stuff's amazing. But no, I can't. I will continue to read, but no, this is bad.
You're not done.
No,
not
it's
Brock
Nova. I'll
No,
read
I'm
it.
done.
If I survived the Eric Larson Nova series for 7 issues, I could survive this for 7 issues. But it's bad. It's bad. And I don't know what else to say
Can we
about
just
it.
cancel and bring back Runaways?
But there was that hope.
Well,
What's your take, Charlie?
my take is, so I kind of draw a lot of comparisons to this book compared to what they did with Blue Beetle, Ted Cord.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle. And like, as soon as I got that in my head, I realized, I don't think I am capable of liking books that do this kind of transition.
Yeah.
And a large part of that just has to do with the fact that I liked the previous Nova series. I liked the previous Nova series a lot. I wish they would have finished putting out the hardcovers and stuff for it. I was definitely a big fan of what they were doing with the cosmic stuff, and especially Nova. And reading this book...
Well, hold on, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. I love Jaime Reyes. I love Blue Beetle. His ongoing books have all been terrible.
But that's kind of my point.
Right, and I'm just thinking about that, and I'm like, you're dead right. It is he's a cool character, and his books are bad.
Yeah.
He needs the right creative team on it.
But it's just one of those things where it's weird because I can handle Blue Beetle in JLI. I can love watching him on Young Justice. I even loved watching him on Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Oh yeah.
But every time I've tried reading a single just Blue Beetle book, it's always one issue. I'm done.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, this book didn't quite get me to the I'm immediately done phase, which I guess is good for it. But it was also my lowest rated book of what I read last week because it didn't drag me in. Like you, the fact they had the dad stuff there kind of made me go, so they remember what I like about a Nova series, so they're going to show me it once existed.
Yeah.
But as far as I recall, with the way things were left, the Nova Corps gone. So you now basically have the equivalent of Blue Beetle over at Marvel, and I don't see reading more than a couple issues.
Well, I think also the difficult part is that, I mean, the only exposure we've had to Sam Alexander is in AVX, is in like the Marvel .1 kind of deals,
and the cartoon,
and like the digital stuff that they were putting out too. But it's like we haven't gotten a story with this actual Nova kid going on, and with the little bit that we've got, we're just going to go into the origin story instead of kind of just bringing us into seeing this kid, here he's doing his thing, so on and so forth, and then maybe going back to that a little bit later, because it's like, you're right, it's the perfect kid who just cleans up after his dad. And
well, they're trying to do like Ultimate Spider-Man. It's like half Ultimate Spider-Man, half Blue Beetle, and it's all bad is the problem. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, not to sound too silly about it, I definitely would have been more of a fan of if his dad was making a concentrated effort to prepare him to be a Nova. Sure. Like that, I probably could have gotten behind. Sure. It's just the way this kid is obviously pretty much going to fall into this power similar to the way Jaime Reyes did, because his dad evidently had something bad happen to him at the end of issue 1.
Yeah.
And I just kind of check out at that point. It's like, yeah.
We'll see. Well, let's talk about some cartoons here for a few minutes. Green Lantern and Young Justice. I actually wasn't going to talk about Green Lantern, but you brought it up because of Larfleeze. Yeah, that was a great episode.
Yeah.
The most recent episode of Green Lantern was fantastic.
I will always highlight it when any of the different Lantern Corps show up for the first time in some sort of animated form, because like this is the first time we've seen Larfleeze outside of comic books.
Yeah.
And there were certain, as a huge fan of the Green Lantern stuff, I can definitely go, they changed the mythology here. I preferred the way they handled it before and all that, but I can forgive all that because it's Larfleeze on TV.
Well, Omar stepped out for a second. Oh, is he coming back? Yeah, Omar is coming back, but something he said before we recorded that there's a little too much Golem, Lord of the Rings Golem in this version of Larfleeze, which he was always like that, but they really amped up that my shiny, I need, it's my precious. I mean, they really amped that up in this.
Downplayed so Larfleeze is supposed to represent an entire core. Like,
right.
All the power that would normally be divided amongst an entire core is...
Well, like Glomulus is in it, but they don't explain what he is in it.
And there are certain limitations based on the animation style that I just kind of have to go in and accept. And because of that, I understood why we only saw Glomulus and not all the others, because of CGI rendering and all that. It's really expensive for them to make a huge range of constructs, and so they kind of have to deal with the constructs they already have used and characters they've already used. So that I accept. But
Sure.
I love seeing Larfleeze. I love seeing him conjure giant Larfleeze.
That was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I love seeing Hal with the orange rings wigging out.
Right out of the cover of the comic, too, with him like doing like the half turn with the lantern.
Orange.
Yeah.
And I guess my only complaint is similar to Omar, and it wasn't so much the Gollum side of things as Larfleeze doesn't really skulk around so much as overreact. If you take something that's he's throwing everything, including the kitchen sink at you normally.
Sure. Like, I love the ending of the show. He's like looking around and he fucking grabbed a fly. And he fucking didn't even get the fly.
Yeah.
But I was so hoping it was going to be like some Wizard of Oz shit. Like, he's like, yeah, I'll join your troop. I'll help you.
Yeah, that
I was
great.
so hoping, just so we can see some more of Larfleeze fleshed out.
We got like 2 episodes left or 3 episodes
But still,
left.
just to end it with
close.
a bang.
I know we're so close to the end, and they
I am hoping they
all show up or something.
I'm hoping the Blue Lanterns are there. I'm hoping the Star Sapphires are there. I'm hoping the Fleas.
Have we seen everyone?
No, we haven't seen Indigo.
No, you haven't seen Indigo, and I mean, obviously,
Black, right?
you haven't seen Black. You haven't
Yeah.
But
and Yellow. We haven't seen Yellow.
I was about to say
no, we haven't seen Yellow. Yeah,
But-
we saw Sinestro.
Yeah, no Yellow, no White.
I think there's a slim chance we might see Yellow before the end.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool
I
way
mean,
to end
that's where it all started.
Yeah.
From what you guys have been saying,
books,
like
at
they're the way they portrayed Larfleeze was only kind of half of what the portrayal of Greed is, or Aardvarst is that like that thing.
Yeah.
But there's also that the other side of Aardvarst that we've seen from the comic book, where it's the
Of what?
Avarice, I think he's trying to say.
Avarice.
Avarice.
Greed. Yes.
Where it's that I'll kill you, right? That serious kind of.
We saw that
too.
plenty from Hal.
Yeah. No,
But you guys were saying that like Larfleeze didn't have. He was skewed more one way than he was.
and again, this is like, it's an adaptation of the book, right?
Sure.
And I was like, shit, I wanted him to be a fucking badass.
Yeah.
But we already got that with Razor. Razor is like the ultimate badass every fucking issue. So they can't try to do the different persona. And I know it's like for kids. It's not just for me. I'm an adult.
I had someone on Twitter the other day after I was talking about this. They're like, dude, like I want Razor and Aya in the comics. I'm like, hell yeah. They're great.
Yeah,
they're great
awesome.
characters.
They're awesome.
So I would love to see them in.
But like Larfleeze can take on the fucking Guardians single-handedly.
Yeah.
So he should be able to fucking handle these Green Lanterns and one Red Lantern.
Well,
I mean, to go back to his introduction in the comic books, this kind of played out very similar in the way that Hal went for the Orange Lantern.
True. No, I love that. I did. I really did enjoy it.
I don't really have a problem. As I said, the only thing I had a problem with is Larfleeze should have been fucking going nuts, throwing the kitchen sink and everything he could about it. But as I said, all is forgiven. They gave me Larfleeze on TV.
Thank you.
well, there's something else we need to talk about here. And Omar, we got to talk, man. Young Justice. What are they doing? What are they doing?
Fucking tell Apache Jr. to fucking stay home.
The super young racist stereotypes of America.
They did a little better on the Japanese language with that shit. But
It's like,
Because he started speaking English?
yeah.
Are you calling him the RSA?
up until a few episodes ago, it was like Young Justice. Okay, well, they're fighting the Reach, but you know the Reach aren't the real bad guys. It's clearly going to be Darkseid. Okay. And then it's like, now it's apparently, nope, it's the Reach versus the racist stereotypes, Super Friends of America. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, what? What is this show doing?
The savings grace of that was Nightwing being a detective.
Nightwing was cool
as fuck.
And when Arsenal was awesome in that episode. But like, what? Maybe where are they going with this?
Well,
They're not
got
going
it
nowhere
a little
because
too...
they left.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
they're
like, did they just
Dunzo.
were they just like, well, show's canceled. Let's throw in some shit.
And first of all, the people that are working on that show, they're not even working on it anymore
I
because
know.
they were on Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I know.
So go watch Scooby Doo now.
Enjoy.
But the Scooby Doo have freaking Miss Martian and you know and
Well,
Nightwing.
they got Scooby and Shaggy and Daphne.
Scrappy.
Now you have
Scrappy.
me wishing they'd have Miss Martian and what. No, but I kind of understand what they're going through with the end. Like, as soon as Blue Beetle turned, they're kind of doing that whole decompressed thing of now we have to reveal that he turned, now we have to have the impact of his turn, but they're not rolling it out. we're getting way too much filler for how close we are to the end.
That's what really happened.
If I see another episode where they're fighting Black Beetle, it's like, dude, really?
Dude, Mongol is pretty badass, though.
Okay,
Mongol's sick.
Black Beetle's cool, but not like 12 episodes in a row cool.
Definitely not.
Like, they just... And like, when they went back to
You're going to have a lot of fun watching Naruto about 50 episodes.
Yeah.
And just forewarning you about it.
Well, but it's like... When they go... See, and here's the thing, and this is where I sound like a jerk, but I want the real characters, not these made up for the cartoon characters.
Guess what? Every single 12-year-old wants that too. They want to see Superman, not Superboy. So,
but Superman...
I don't agree with those little kids either. Go away. Go home and sleep, kids. Cartoons are for adults now.
When they had the stuff with Superman and all them going up against Mongol, right, with the world, that stuff was cool. When they had they went back to get Aqualad and Miss Martian in the ship, that was cool. But they gotta keep going back to these characters, and it's like, and the Reach are so dumb. Like, I hate the Reach. Like, I didn't hate them prior.
Agreed. But don't you just love the 30 seconds of Deathstroke coming in and just taking the key, fucking running away with his cool little white ponytail?
I like how Arsenal is freeing the Mongol instead of his own team.
Yeah.
That was awesome! Holy shit!
Yeah. There were good moments. There were good moments, and I love it. And Arsenal is great in it. But I never want to see those characters again, and I just want them to get on with the plot because they're so
honest,
close to the end.
I kind of enjoy watching Static Shock in this version.
Yeah, Static. I could take or leave them. I mean, I don't.
I never truly liked them in the original show, but I like this specific version of
They're okay, but what I'm saying is like this isn't the Super Friends. This is Young Justice.
Well, they're done.
Like,
I mean, they gave them an out. They left with Arsenal.
They'll be back last minute to save their ass again for some random reason.
To be honest, I hope not.
Yeah, just move on. Just get back to the real characters. Like, ugh.
Well, I definitely need more Wonder Girl in this because she's awesome in this show.
Yeah,
definitely.
And Babs.
Is there
and
3
Robin.
or 4 more episodes?
It's
not very many.
So
it's
few.
not really.
So few. All right, well, you guys want to spoil some stuff?
Not particularly, but let's do it anyways.
You couldn't. Okay, so this is massive spoilers, but if you've ever heard of something called the internet,
Are you talking about Walking Dead?
Are you talking about Charlie's Pants?
Is Charlie's Pants The Walking Dead?
Maybe.
If you've ever heard of the internet and you go on any comic book related forum today or message board or news channel or anything, you've already read this or
pretty
seen
much
it.
the past week.
Well, but specifically today, this went up on New York Post. This went up on Bleeding Cool on Comic Book Resources. They had multiple articles about it. Newsarama had multiple interviews with creators about it. So this is something that we knew the stuff was hitting the fan today.
I forgive most of those other sources just because of what the sources are. DC Comics pissed me off.
Yeah, they had DC's blog had it right there on the front page.
Not even that. I loaded like DC Comics this afternoon, and like one of those like pop-up ads over the page came up with like the R.I.P. Damien.
Oh. Well, there you go, spoiling everything.
Wait, I know nothing of this because I've been, gone for 10 days, working 16-hour days. I haven't been on any comic book shop news sites or nothing.
We don't know anything because we gotta wrap this up in a minute here. But
wait, this could be like Batman R.I.P.
It is exactly like Batman R.I.P. The cover even says R.I.P.
It's Batman 666 R.I.P.
So they announced in the New York Post this morning and then spread everywhere that they are killing off Damian Wayne, also known as the new Robin, from Grant Morrison in Batman Incorporated number 8.
Only to have the Damian Wayne from the original universe to come back when you combine the universes. Spoiler!
Spoiler alert!
That's the real spoiler right there, guys. It's going to happen about 5 years.
Of the clones that they showed.
No,
there's already has.
Yeah, there's a Lazarus pit. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, I don't know, of course, where they're going with this. Morrison...
sure you do, Ryan. You're pretty dead on with your guesses.
Well, Morrison, in this interview, said, this is what happens...
Did he say, fuck you, DC, for fucking with my shit?
No. And there was an interview with Peter Tomasi, who I guess had known this for quite some time already, because he's writing Batman and Robin. Mm-hmm. So he had known for a long time, and Chris Burnham, the artist...
One of my fave writers. I love Tomasi.
Chris Burnham, the artist, was like, I knew about this 2 years ago, because this is the end of the story.
Yeah.
Is that Batman and Talia are having this big war, and Damian gets caught in the middle and killed. And that's sort of...
Well, it's the beginning of the end, because there's still
right.
4 issues?
Yeah, it's 12 is the last issue, so 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Yeah. So, this is the beginning of the end, and Damian dying is the catalyst for Batman to go up against Talia and probably Ra's and have some big final blow with them. I mean, we don't know. The book comes out tomorrow, so by the time most people hear this, the book will be on retailer hands and then the store shelves on Wednesday. So yeah, I mean, I hope it's awesome. I love Damian. I hate to see him go, but if he's gone, he's gone. There's a lot of rumor that
that Stephanie is coming back in instead.
No,
kidding.
no. Her name is what is her name?
The one that was introduced,
Harper Row.
Yeah, Harper Row.
Yeah. She's been a background character in issue 7, I believe, of Batman. Mm-hmm. 7 and 12, and I guess she's going to be in issue 18 as well. Who's been sort of the street punk chick, kind of Carrie Kelly like.
Yeah. But she has blonde hair, right?
A lot of rumors, yeah.
Or is it red? It's not red, please. Not red.
No, it's like blue.
Blue.
Yeah. So a lot of rumors that she's going to be the new Robin, which could be cool. I've got no problem with that. I like Stephanie. I like
Cassandra.
We'll find out she was an orphan, and her name was originally Stephanie.
Yeah, sure. So I'm cool. However they want to do this. We can just have a whole family of bats. Hundreds of them at this point.
I just have one question: is the cow dead?
Dude, Bat Cow. He could sacrifice himself to save Damian.
What about Bat Cat?
Bat Cat?
Or what about Titus?
What's Titus?
That's the bat dog.
Oh, yeah.
You know how
nice,
Damian's been
it?
collecting all the
pets. Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed
Bat
that.
hamster.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a hamster yet, does
Bat
he?
snake.
We'll see what they have. See what they do with it. So I love Damian. I hate to see him have to kill him off, but
that
what
was
can you
one
do?
hell of a short run on Damian, though.
No, it's like 4 years.
No,
4
it is
years,
around
but
4
how long has Dick been Robin? How long has
Yeah, but they're like
Well, let's put it this
Robin.
way: if they hadn't done
Stephanie
the
doesn't
new
count because that
52,
was a
this
setup.
would have ended.
I think it was 7 years because it was 06 when Morrison's run started.
oh shit, really?
Yeah.
That long?
Yeah. Was it
Damn,
06?
I feel old now.
Yeah.
How many issues was Batman Inc. originally supposed to go?
Thanks, Damien.
Well, it was like
Thanks for
supposed to be,
coming
I
through.
think, 24, but they split it like 12 and 12, right? Because
Yeah.
they did the new 52 relaunch.
Yeah, actually, since we're
And
talking
so
about this,
he went at least 8 months longer than he was supposed to.
Yeah.
well, actually, since we're talking about this, I want to kind of bring up that all the new movies. It seems like they're based on newer storyline. I found that very interesting. Like the Winter Soldier stuff and Cap. The Hulk stuff of the World War Hulk and stuff.
All the Loki being his half brother, like not his brother. That's all from the Straczynski.
That's Straczynski,
run.
yeah.
It's very interesting that they're taking a lot of stuff from the newer material as opposed to the older one. I don't know.
It goes in circles, just like how we were all talking in the beginning of the show. It's like now is the best time.
It is.
Yeah.
Plus, I think they've been delving into a lot of the mythology over the past couple of years with characters that had gotten a little stale. And
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've had redone Origins so many times that it's like this is how it came out this time. Well, let's revise it and let's do it again and see what we can make better, what we can cut out. So I mean, all of us love those the Secret Origins that Johns did on Superman and Green Lantern.
That was actually one of the things that amuses me because I've heard a lot of people being like, I don't need to see Superman's origin story again on the big screen. I'm like, it could be a great story. We've seen that in comics time and time again. You can retell the origin as long as you make it a good story.
Yeah, I have faith in the Superman movie. So.
Yeah.
Well, next week we will report back more on the life and death of Damian Wayne. So if you've skipped for spoilers, this is a good point to start listening. So we'll stop talking about it now. But we will go ahead and wrap up. So thank you, everyone.
No picks of the week?
No.
We don't have picks for shit.
Yeah.
He hates that thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Screw those picks.
Vibe.
Good job. Good job. Bedlam.
Hey,
Bedlam.
Screw it. What's your pick for this week?
Bedlam.
Bedlam number 3? Or just
Number
Bedlam in general?
In general.
You really like it?
Yeah, it's demented shit. I love it.
So if you like this podcast and you want to
Toby,
listen to all
what's
of
your
our
pick?
other episodes,
I haven't been reading in like months, so that's why I haven't been on this podcast either. So I don't have.
He showed me the picks of the week earlier, and they were all bitches. Love it.
So if you like this episode and you want to listen to all of our other episodes, please go to www.geekbox.net. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Your mic appears to be down. www.geekbox.net, or you can go to www.comicsconspiracy.biz, where maybe eventually I'll actually update the site and put them up there. Forums at geekbox.net. Don't worry, you can go there and talk to us on the forums, and we'll talk back at you
And find out how Brock was
Shut
censored.
that shit off.
and tell you how much
Shut that shit off.
and tell you
Really?
how
Hit
much
the other one? What's your pick of the week, Ryan?
and tell you how much we and tell you how much we love Nova #1. Oh wait, no, we don't. Don't forget to go to Brock's blog, which is something I don't remember what it was. If his mic was on, he could tell you, but conspiratobrock.com. Go to Comics of the Kind, which is Omar's website. Go to the infinitelongbox.com, or I'm sorry, just infinitelongbox.com. You can talk to Charlie on there. He's on there with all his people doing their. Hey, are you up yet? Is your site?
Yeah, the site's mostly up. There's still some aspects of it I'm working on. But, like, if people actually log in and stuff...
Did you like these reviews and stuff and comments and stuff? You getting that up there yet? Or?
If you go to the comic section, you'll actually see the rating. And if you click on reviews from there, you'll see a quick little... Essentially a spoiler-free review that I've typed up for the issue, what I thought of it.
Stuff, yeah.
And if you're logged in, you can even write one of your own.
Cool.
And give it a rating. So
yeah. Charlie's doing some good stuff over there.
Yeah, another thing I need to log into.
Yeah.
I'm not even on anymore, am
I? Yeah, you are.
Oh, no.
We're all on Twitter. Ryan Higgins, Ryan. Brock Sager. Comics and the Kind. Toby XI is Toby. Insanity and Chaos is Charlie. I don't know. TheComicConspiracy@geekbox.net. If you want to send us some long-form email, we'll do that. Otherwise, hit up Ryan Higgins Ryan, around 6 o'clock or so Pacific time on Monday if you want to answer some Twitter questions. That's where we get our questions from. So you can go on there and we'll answer that.
Now, what the hell are we doing for episode 100?
I have no idea. We're going to kill off a member of the podcast, replace the entire team with new characters, and have a variant cover. That's what we're going to do.
We're going to make Ryan...
Fill it with some backup stories.
We're going to get some flaming red peppers for Charlie. We're going to get some soju for Ryan and see what happens. And we're going to start an hour before we start recording, and we're going to start recording about an hour in.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. We'll be back next week.